Good afternoon. Welcome to the West Side Story. I'm John Casey, your host. If you like what you hear, please subscribe and also check that like button. Yet again, a few more changes in the program today. No police report and no Parks and Recs report. However, I need to say this again so it's abundantly clear. I'm asked on a fairly regular basis, do I side with Lisa or Jeb York? My answer is neither. My wish for the city of Santa Clara is that if you call the cops, you get somebody out there quick. If you call the fire department, same thing. And the folks in both of those organizations are well trained. That the parks be maintained and expanded if possible. That the roads be maintained and expanded if possible. The library to remain a repository not only for books, but whatever technology comes along after that. Some decent city planning, and keeping the books balanced. That's about all I ask for. And unfortunately, I don't feel I can side with either one of the sides and make that statement. And it kind of leads me up to the thing we're really going to talk about today. Many of you may know that there were 4 members of the city council basically aligned with Mayor Lisa Gilmore during the last election, largely due to the creation of the districts. 2 of those folks were sent on their way. So we now have 5 folks who are often called the Jeb York folks or the 49er 5. And we have Mayor Lisa Gilmore and Council member Kathy Watanabe as the 2 remaining from the old power block. And in my opinion, that's the worst thing that could happen to the city. You don't need a power block. You need people who sit down, who live in Santa Clara, and say, hey, this is important stuff for my city, and then they take the appropriate action. They don't be around arguing from 1:30 in the afternoon to 11 o'clock at night. They can do away with all that nonsense. They just need to get busy. Okay. So at a recent meeting, I reported that the council, largely driven by the 49er 5, had actually fired the city manager. And that's not, I won't say it's common, but it certainly happened a few other times. So a number of people said, hey, we got to get these guys out of here. They can't do this, yada, yada, yada. Well, if you were to read section 11320 of the Elections Code of the state of California, it deals with the recall process. And it's pretty straightforward. If you want to recall somebody, this is how you do it. Most famously, Gray Davis was recalled as governor in 2003. He was replaced by Arnold Schwarzenegger, who we then had for a total of 10 years. And more recently, Governor Gavin Newsom, they attempted to recall him, but didn't muster the required votes. Okay, the way you start that process is you create a petition, and that petition needs some number of signatures from within the jurisdiction to go onto the ballot. Since the redistricting, each district will need about 25 to 3,000 signatures, a great deal less than in previous times when there weren't districts. So this group called Stand Up for Santa Clara, driving the recall, seems to feel that this needs to happen. And they're driving it. They've had an organizational meeting. I understand there's another meeting planned. Which brings us down to, who are they going to recall? They want to recall Suds Jane, Kevin Park, and Anthony Becker. The problematic name is Kevin Park. He's our representative. You may ask, well, John, why aren't they going after the other 2? Because the other 2, if they had an election to recall them, they couldn't do what the recall till after their terms had expired. So the state law prohibits that. Again, 11320. So someone asked me after hearing about this, are you going to sign to recall Kevin Park? And I better preface that by saying I don't think Kevin is extremely valuable, but he's more valuable than previous members of the council. Is he perfect? Oh, no. Has he done some good things for the city? Yes, very definitely. So I don't plan on signing the recall petition for any of them. Well, actually, I can only sign for Kevin, but I will not sign that. And if indeed it gets to a vote, I will probably walk precincts for him because I've lived here a long time, and he's about the best representation we've had on the council ever. Okay. And again, this brings us back to the power blocks thing. If you had 5 and 2, you had a power block. That was terrible. You've now got 5 and 2 the other way, and that's just as terrible. They're sitting around sniping at each other when they ought to be worried about the needs of the city. So I really, again, that's my stance. Thanks for listening. Love to hear your side. If you have thoughts or something you want to say, the comments are below, or email me. Either way is fine. Please stay safe.